Greetings ladies and gentlefish, and in today's video I'm gonna finally show you some gameplay from a machine that I fell in love with as soon as I started playing it. This is the T71 Tier 7 American light tank. This is the Tier 7 tank on the American auto-loading line, so it's not the dedicated light tank line, it's just the auto-loading line. And you will probably have noticed this is a patch 9.8 replay, so this is from before the T71 got hit in the face with the stupid bat. Sorry, the ugly bat. I do apologise. So this is when it was still adorable and cute. So, I'm going to do me some scouting. The matchmaking's fairly favourable here. I say fairly favourable, it's a tier 8 game and I'm in a tier 7 light tank, so this is the best it gets. Our ELC did a little bit of spotting, but has since dropped off of the edge of that road because otherwise he was just going to die. And so I'm the one lighting all these guys up. I'm running vertical stabilizer, coated optics, and I think vents on this tank. So I've got, I think it's a 390 meter base view range you get with this thing, 390, 400, something around that mark. Throw in 10% from the coated optics, and the fact that I had full brothers in arms, well technically Sisterhood of Steel, because this is a girly crew in the tank, a full girly crew. You only need 3 crew members for this machine. And that all equates to a very tasty view range indeed. Now obviously we're here on Lakeville and I'm just lighting these guys up. Now I was doing light tank mission 15 for the T28 heavy tank concept at the time when I played this. And for light tank mission 15 you need to get 5,000 combined assistance and regular damage. So your assistance damage, spotting and detracking and all that jazz, plus the damage that you deal has to be 5,000, and if you want it with honours, as I did, you have to survive the game. Now I will give some more details on my trials and tribulations with this mission in another video, but suffice it to say it took me an awful lot of battles to get both the primary and the secondary mission objectives completed. So at this point I was still trying to, there we go, our ELC is now dead. When you get down onto that little ledge there off of the Lakeville Road, you basically can't get back up. And I've fallen prey to that before, so I'm not going to mock the guy too much. Or at all. So yeah, it's kind of frustrating. I was kind of getting frustrated with this mission at some point, but more on that later. Still doing it at the moment, and as you can see, I've become bored of my position. I think it's run out of usefulness, so I'm just seeing if I can move up a little bit. Get some flanking fire in, spot some guys, and just generally see what's around. Now I played this tank pretty much after grinding out the 1390, so I was playing the AMX 1375 to unlock the AMX 1390. And whilst I actually enjoyed playing the AMX 1375, which is something not a lot of people seem to say, this tank, the fact that they're both tier 7 light tanks is utterly ridiculous because this tank is just so vastly superior it's not even funny. So yeah, the score here is 7-4, so our team is fairly convincingly in the lead. Now I am a little bit cautious about moving up because I know there's a T28 prototype over there. I know there's likely, oh no, the IS-3 isn't there anymore, he's now in the town, so I need to be a little bit careful still. And I'm waiting to time my advance with the push from the guys who went valley and actually won the valley and are still pushing through. Usually people going to the valley, you know, gives me a case of hives and makes me want to strangle someone, but in this particular instance I fire my first shot in the game, and fail to penetrate the IS-3's magic side armor, but do track him in place and do get a couple of penetrations afterwards. So out of a magazine of 6, I think I fired 5 and penetrated 2. But one of those that didn't penetrate, to be fair, was a tracking shot, so that got me a nice chunk of assistance damage. Anyway, I was saying, I'm trying to time my attack with the guys who pushed through the valley. Unfortunately, the guys who pushed through the valley have ceased to be. They've gone to a better place. They pushed through the valley, which is great, because otherwise you get people just sitting in the valley when they do go to the valley achieving nothing. But they died, which is less great. Now, the scoreline is 9-7. Trying to get some shots on this IS-3. There's one. Can I get a second? Someone else kills him. Fair enough. So I don't want to be too passive here. Conversely, going down this central road straight into a T28 prototype, fills me with a certain amount of dread. You know, that the T28 Prot gets a very fast-firing 120mm gun. DPM on that machine is quite scary. And while his side and rear armour's tissue paper, his frontal armour is certainly enough to defeat this gun unless I fire heat ammo, and I have never fired a single round of heat ammunition out of this gun, even though I have 2 clips loaded. Anyway, on to the actual action at hand. IS-2 nails RE25, and IS-2 is now reloading. I have 175 odd penetration, and an autoloader with 6 rounds in, so that is 1 dead IS-2. And go for a reload of the magazine, taking a shot in the bum from that T28 prototype, and finding the enemy Tiger II in the process. So this is a slightly dicey situation. Oh, take a shot from the Tiger II, and I just decide that I clearly need to be somewhere else and not be getting shot at. Magazine's loaded though, and T28 prototype appears to be distracted by other people. Someone nails their artillery. There's only 3 of them left at this point, I feel I should point out. The Achilles, Tiger II and T28 Prot. So as the prototype appears to be distracted by other people... Oh no, he's pointing his gun at me. That's fine, other people can shoot you in the side of the turret. And now he's turning back to them, and I'm just going to shoot this guy in the side. Now, while the T28 prototype does have a turret, it does not go all the way around. There's the rear segment, you can see there, where he cannot point his gun, and therefore I can feast on his tasty, tasty health. There's kill number 2. Tiger II and Achilles remaining. Now, I'm not going directly to that Tiger II because A, that's predictable, and B, I'm reloading. So I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to get myself into a fight without the ammunition to win it, because I am a one-shot on 76 health. Achilles is in the valley, so hopefully our Cromwell and Su-14 can deal with him, so I'm going to go and see if I can do something about this Tiger. Gun is loaded. Let's see if we can find this little blighter. There he is, 144 health. So that is a 1-shot, 2-shot for this gun. 150 average damage, so that is a likely 1-shot, potential 2-shot. Tiger has fired. Going for it. Problem is the Tiger does have not too bad a reload, trying to get around this fellow. 1 shot in, and we managed to kill him. Okay, that's pretty sweet. Just the Achilles remaining. Go for a reload, because whilst I had 5 rounds in the magazine, it will take me a while to drive down this boggy ravine here on Lakeville, so I thought I might as well go for that reload, and in the end our Su-14 blats the Achilles anyway, and so that's the game. And that was an awful lot of fun to play. And that's the thing with the T71, win, lose, whatever, I had an awful lot of fun playing it. Anyway, let's go and have a look at the results for this one. So that was actually enough for an ace tanker, which kind of surprised me at the time. I had it in my head that the T71 would require an awful lot of experience to ace. And actually, to be fair, at the time when, of course, this screen pops up, I didn't know exactly how much spotting damage I'd done, so I didn't actually know how good this result was going to be. As well as ace tanker, we picked up Fire for Effect, Duelist, and the Spotter ribbons, and we did 1,971 damage, got 3 kills, and 1,345 experience. Okay, that seems reasonable for an ace tanker, yep. So how much assistance damage did we rack up? 3,003. Awesome! Except if you add up 3,003 and 1,971, what do you get? You get 4,974. Remember I was doing Light Tank 15, which required 5k total? Yeah, it was very, very close, but not quite. Anyway, I wasn't going to complain about that. Running a premium account at the time, so we made basically a 40,000 credit profit, and got 2,100 experience. Even with a standard account, that would have been a 23,000 credit profit. If you can play light tanks fairly effectively, then you can actually make an awful lot of money with them, because spotting damage gets you credits, and you don't have to pull the trigger in order to pick it up. So, that was the first game I wanted to show you. We're going to go on with the second one again in the T71. Here we go with the second game, and once more there's some fairly favourable matchmaking to boot. This is an assault game. We're on the defending team, and we are here on the Siegfried line. Tier 8 game, of course. That's what I mean by favourable matchmaking. And if you actually look at the tanks available, there are only 2 Tier 8s per team. So it's actually very favourable matchmaking. We have a T-34 and an Indian Panzer. The enemy team have an IS-3 and a T-34. On top of that, each team gets a trio, of Tier 7 light tanks, which of course receive Tier 8 tank matchmaking effectively. So if you want to think of it that way, then there are 5 Tier 8s on each team, of which I am one, despite the fact that it's a Tier 7 light tank. I hope you understand what I mean. Anyway, being fast and mobile and a light tank, I initially come over to this ridge line to spot the bad guys as they try and come into the city. You have to be a little bit careful over here that you don't get shot by nasty tank destroyers. But there we go. Trying to put some shots into that KV-2, but this gun is not exactly the most accurate weapon in the world. So we don't really have much success there. Waste half a magazine doing nothing, so go for a quick reload. You can see that the enemy team have pushed quite heavily into the city, actually, or trying to get into the city. And we've already lost 2 tanks. That 2/3 of that platoon, that Tier 6 platoon, have gone to a better place. We've lost the Cromwell and the ELC. Thankfully, they're only bottom tier tanks, but even so, losing tanks this early is clearly not optimal. T-25 has fired, but I thought I'd struggle to get shots on him before he reloaded. This thing gets 7 degrees of gun depression, which is okay. It's enough to not be a hindrance without it really being a strength either. Claimed that enemy KV-2. Our T-25 picked up the kill, but we've lost our VK in the process. So we're still down to bottom tier tanks, basically, compared to the attackers. Artillery just slams that guy, and it looks like our AMX is going for him. And if he's going to keep looking at me, I've no idea where the AMX rammed him. That was a terrible idea. Anyway, enemy T-71. I am wondering if this guy is AFK or something, because that's 3 rounds. 4. No, he's not AFK. He's moving the turret. 5. Can we make it a clean sweep? Yes, we can. There we go. That's how not to play a light tank. I have awesome mobility. I'm going to sit here and take it like a something. Yeah, don't do that. Anyway, having killed that guy, I am going to go and see if I can find... I'm actually looking kind of for the artillery at this point. And if I can find them, I'll wreck them. But if I can't, clearly I won't. Scoreline is 4-4. And we've successfully managed to push out along this northern flank, if you will. Enemy team, not looking fantastic. Ooh, shots on the side of an IS-3. I mean, they have managed to push into the town, which is a little suboptimal. And of those 3 shots, only one of them actually finds its mark on the IS-3 for 6. 3 rounds left in the magazine, going for a reload. With these, similar thing is true of the AMX 1375. With these sort of 75, 76mm autoloaders that you find on the Tier 7 light tanks, with 6 rounds in the magazine, the reload time tends to hover around the 20-second mark. I think the T71 is just over 20 seconds, and if memory serves, the AMX 1375 comes in at just under 20 seconds. I try and pick up a kill on this KV-85. I probably waste a little bit too much time trying to do so. There's 4 rounds of ammunition. This would be a terrible idea, by the way, if I were in the... Oh, we finally kill him. If I were in the AMX 1375, because the 1375 gets a very limited ammo loadout, and you really can't afford to fire 5 shots picking up 30 health on a bottom tier heavy tank. The T71, however, gets a slightly more generous ammo loadout, so you can afford to do that sometimes. AMX 1375 is asking for the kill on artillery. I mean, yeah, if we're in a situation where that's viable, sure, go for it. I have no special desire to kill the artillery, but conversely, let's not throw the game away purely to achieve that. 2 rounds into the SU-100, and our 1375 has gone to a better place. I've only got 1 more round of ammunition left, and it bounces anyway. The SU-100s, and that's common with a lot of the Soviet tank destroyers, they get quite large gun mantlets, which can actually eat quite a lot of shells, which can be quite annoying. So, yeah, there we go. But we leave him basically a 1-shot, or possibly a 2-shot. So, never mind. Scoreline is 9-10. We are, of course, still losing. We've picked up 2 kills and some damage into the process, maybe even some assistance damage. VK3601H here. You can't see the outline because I think replay bug, but trust me, there is an outline to see because I'm quite happily able to just plough shots into this guy and give him a very bad day. And we'll take blind shots because, there we go. It doesn't look like he was going anywhere. There's kill number 3. Scoreline is 10-11. So, both teams have lost all of their proper tier 8 tanks. The enemy team have a tier 7 and 3 tier 6. Well, 2 tier 7s and 2 tier 6s if you want to go by matchmaking weight rather than tank tier. And if you want to do the same by our tier, we have a tier 8 and 2 tier 6s. Because, of course, the light tanks get match made as if they're a tank 1 tier higher. Anyway, full clip of ammunition and going to try and save our FV304. No idea if I'm going to make it in time. In fact, it's now looking like I'm not going to make it in time. But to quote a certain film, if I can't save him, I can at the very least avenge him. And so we're going to go and try and nobble this MT25, seeing as we were coming over here anyway to try and save the FV. Put 2 rounds into him before he's able to shoot me, and good night Vienna. For kill number 4. So, 2 of us left versus 3 of them. The enemy artillery tried to bag me, but we managed to make sure that he was unsuccessful. Last time those 3 enemy tanks were spotted, they were all down south. So, let's try and go down south to find them. Now I can't remember if I've already mentioned this in this replay. Sorry, this is the second time I've recorded this game, and there's been quite a time delay between this and my recording of the first game. Anyway, I can't remember if I said this, but I run vents, vert stab, and coated optics on my T71, and have a camo crew. They're not 100% camo, but they're learning camo skill. So despite the fact that the T71 gets the worst camo rating, or one of the worst camo ratings, of the tier 7 light tanks, it's still in the grand scheme of things a pretty sneaky machine. So I should hopefully be able to sneak up on these guys. Stuart Emil, SU-100, M44, none of them have a very good view range. Neither does the KV-2. I mean, in fact, I easily have the best view range of anybody in this game at the moment, or anyone who's left in this game. I think the T71 gets 390, 400 base, plus 10% coated optics, plus Sisterhood of Steel, because this is my girly crew, or it's a girly crew. Plus I may even have situational awareness on the radio operator, or something like that. So, what have we got? Well, the KV-2 just got wrecked by the Panzer Soufflé. I was going to go after the Panzer Soufflé, but I get spotted by the M44. I am a little conscious of that SU-100. I don't know quite where he's gotten to. I know where he was last spotted. I mean, I was the one who last spotted him. But I'm a little conscious of him. Someone's in the capture circle, probably that Stuart Emil. And there's the SU-100. Never mind. Ooh, thankfully my tracks eat that shot, and this means we can just aim these rounds and finish him off. I repair the track with the repair kit because I do not want to eat a 155mm HE round from the M44. He gave it a go. As it turns out, the guy actually missed. Now, I have time here. I'm a mobile machine. I don't have to go and decap immediately, and the M44 has fired off his load. So, this gives me all the time in the world to kill this guy. Average damage on this gun is 150, so 2-shot kill on the M44. I can reload my magazine and go after the Stuart Emil. Now, bearing in mind, this is an assault game. The enemy team have to either cap or kill us all to win. In the event of a draw scenario, the defending team is given the victory by default. So all I actually have to do is reset this guy, because if you look at the amount of time left in this game, there is only 50 odd seconds, and if I can reset the guy, he cannot cap in 50 odd seconds. And I can outrun a Stuart Emil any day of the week. I could go for the kill here, but I don't actually have to. Now, what I actually do is close in. I don't want to waste this shot. There we go, I take a round from him. I don't want to waste that shot because he could kill me if I miss. It's going to take every round in the magazine I have to polish this guy off. Oh no, it doesn't. I have 1 round spare. I tell a lie. And I actually kill the guy. He was using the small gun. and I had time to kill him, even though he put 2 shots into me, and pick up my 7th kill. Now, yeah, he could have ammo racked me or something, but what I was thinking at the time is that if I can guarantee putting the damage in, then that's great. I wasn't actually expecting him to track me. It was when he tracked me that I decided, screw it, let's just kill him. I was just going to put a shot into him and then run away and guarantee the win. But, as it is, we managed to pull a win out of the bag anyway. So, let's go and have a look at the results of this second game. So, perhaps unsurprisingly, that was another ace tanker for the T71. Fire for effect for doing more damage than I have health. Well, yeah. Duelist for something I can't remember. Bruiser for critical module damage. Also picking up high caliber, defender, and of course that top gun. If we look at this in a little more detail, you can see that I managed to rack up 3,663 damage, along with those 7 kills, and 1,513 base experience. And whether you try and look at it in terms of experience or damage, I was clearly on the top of either team. T25/2 also had a pretty good game. 2,500 damage in a tier 8 game in that is very respectable. A lot of the people in that game didn't do a lot. I mean, V for Vendetta in the enemy T71, is that the guy I killed? Yes, he's the guy who just sat there and took a magazine of APCR to the face. You know, yeah, there were a lot of people on both sides who didn't do a huge amount. Also, the MT25 did alright. 4 kills, 888 damage, as well as being a very nice number, is not a bad amount of damage to have done in a tier 8 game. Anyway, 41 shots fired, 31 hits, 28 pens for that damage count. Most of it was at relatively close range, so 2,300 was from under 300 meters. 2 enemy tanks spotted, only 2? Who was it? I spotted the IS-3 and the KV, fair enough. 2 enemy vehicles spotted, 8 damaged, 7 killed. Who did I damage and not kill? Oh, that IS-3, yeah. 8 damage and 7 killed, 571 assistance damage, relatively small amount. All 100 base defense points, travelled 5.6 kilometers, and with a premium account made a 38,000 credit profit. Even without, it would have been a 20,000 credit profit. And, because I was running a premium account at the time, got just shy of, well, got 2,269 experience, plus 112 free XP, and that was without a daily double or anything. So, that ended up being a pretty tasty game, and you know, these sorts of games cemented my opinion of and love affair with the T71. It's a great little machine. It has, of course, since been changed. It was given a HD model. I've played it a little bit since the HD model, not very much. In terms of mechanics, the tank hasn't really changed. It's it's as fast as it always was. It has the gun that it always did. The only problem with it now is the aesthetics. It used to look like such an adorable little toy tank, and now it looks like some hideous thing that, you know, Dr. Frankenstein would be proud of. But anyway, that's the subject for another video. I hope you guys enjoyed that pair of games, running around in the little American Tier 7 light tank, the T71. If you did, please feel free to catch some of my other videos and or subscribe to my channel, and I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao, ciao.